Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kamaya, and if you'd like to see how I did this hairstyle with these rubber band crisscrosses at the front and knotless box braids at the back, then keep on watching. Okay guys, so I'm about to get started with my hair. The hairstyle that I'm doing is actually inspired by a girl I saw on TikTok, and her TikTok username is Brent's Left Nutsack, I think. Her TikTok is Brent's Left Nutsack, and I saw her do this hairstyle first before I saw anybody else do it. So go follow her on TikTok. Sis, if you're watching this, you inspired this hairstyle. Thank you for your inspiration. You did that, so I'm gonna try to do that like you did. To start off my hairstyle, what I'm going to do is to separate my hair into half. I'm starting this process off with my Mielle leave-in conditioner, the pomegranate and honey one, the one that I always use literally every single time. I love this so much, and I'm just using that to moisturize my hair. After that, I'm using my Touchdown Triple Strength Super Grow Miracle Grow CBD oil, and I just apply that to my scalp, and I also apply a bit to the palm of my hands, and I work that through my hair. To begin this process, I'm just going to go ahead and make some sections at the front of my face, the front section of my head. And for this, I think I would recommend you make as many or as little sections as you would like to. I'm going to show you guys how many sections I made shortly. So in total, I had 6 sections at the front of my head. I'm going to go ahead starting off by separating the 5 remaining sections and split my first section into 2 halves. I'm using my Edge Booster Edge Control to just help me clean up my parts. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and part my first half into 2 sections. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and part my second half into 2 sections as well. As you guys could see, I didn't jump into separating each part with the rubber bands and laying down my hair immediately. I basically felt it out to see what it would look like with 2 parts before I went ahead and applied my rubber bands. Once I figured out that 2 parts were good enough, I went in with my Edge Booster Edge Control and I got some black rubber bands, and I just put each section into a little ponytail with my black rubber bands, using my Edge Control to just sleek down the roots. So guys, a key detail to remember about this hairstyle is, as you saw, I had 2 halves originally for my one section. Whatever amount you put on one half, you have to put on the next half. So I had 2 on both halves, and that's just something that you need to do for each and every section of this hairstyle. So once my hair is all rubber band up, I basically go ahead and attach the front bottom section to the back top section, and then the top front section to the back bottom section. And this is basically a patterned hairstyle. So if you were to have more sections in your first part, you would just keep repeating this pattern until you had no more sections to attach. When there are no more sections to attach, what I did was I basically just connected the 2 ending tails and just made that into one, because my goal was to make these box braids as big as possible. If you would like to make smaller box braids, or if you'd like to, you could braid each individual tail as one, but for me, I was trying to braid these 2 as one, just to ensure my box braids were not too small and this style didn't take longer than it needed to take. Alright, so now moving on to the second section of my hair, and as you guys saw previously, I did 2 parts on each of the halves that I parted off in my first section. For this second section, I'm actually going to do 3 parts on each of the halves that I'm doing. I'm basically going off of how many parts could hold in each section when I do them, instead of trying to make every single section of my hair equal. The one thing I did make a priority was just to make both sides of my head symmetrical. So if the first bottom section of my hair was parted into 2 parts, on the opposite side, that was done the same. So I went ahead and connected the second section off camera, and I did the third section. And for the third section, I actually did 4 parts in each of the halves, and I'm going to show you guys how I connected them. So of my 2 halves, I start off on the first lower half, and then I connect the first section of the lower half to the second section of the upper half. And then I go back and I connect the first section of the upper half to the second section of the lower half. And I basically keep repeating this pattern until I have no more sections to connect.
Inspectah.
At the end of every section, I do connect the remaining 2 and I just make those into 1. So that's what I'm doing right here. Braiding hair that I use for this style is the Definition Braid by Main Concept, and the color that I use it in is 1B. And the next hair that I did use, because I ended up running out of the Definition Braid, is the Main Concept 6x I Define Easy Braid. In total, I used 2 packs of the Definition Braid, and then I used 6 packs of the 6x I Define Easy Braid. Honestly, you could use any pre-stretched braiding hair for this style. This is just the braiding hair that I had and that I decided to use. So here, I'm going to go ahead and do my braids. For this section particularly, the section was too big. If I was to do a knotless box braids with this section as 1, then that braid would really be huge and not the same size as the rest. So I just split that into 2 sections. Now I'm going ahead and I'm doing a knotless box braid on each of these 2 sections that I just created. And I have tons of knotless box braid tutorials, so if you guys want to see that, you guys could definitely go ahead and check those out, but I'm still going to explain to you guys what I'm doing. So for the braid, I go ahead and I just braid my natural hair for about a count of 2 or 3, and then I start to feed in. What I do to feed in is I get the braiding hair, I fold it over into a half, and then I rest 1 strand of the braiding hair on the middle section of my natural hair, and then 1 strand underneath the top section of my natural hair. And then I just wrap the 3rd section underneath and braid. So I do understand that the previous clip was pretty dark. I apologize for the terrible lighting. I didn't realize, as you guys saw, I wasn't looking at the camera, I was looking in the mirror. See? So I'm just going to re-demonstrate how I did the knotless box braids right here in better lighting, and this just happened to be the back of my head, y'all. It's the same method if you were to be doing it at the top of your head where the tail of the rubber bands fall, but the only difference is right here I have better lighting. You could add some edge controller jam on your roots just to smoothen it out. And then, like, I'm just cleaning up my part right here, y'all, but I 100% did not care about the parts. I had a flight to catch and the hair needed to be done. What I do is I slick down the roots of my hair with some edge control, and then I split my hair into 3 sections. And then I plait my natural hair by itself for about a count of 2 or 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh nah, I was ODing. Okay, so 3. Then I get the braiding hair that I have folded into a half. I rest 1 strand of the braiding hair underneath the top section of my natural hair and 1 on the middle section. And then the 3rd section, I just wrap that underneath the middle section. While doing this style, you just want to make sure that every strand of hair that you are not working with is out of your way. As you guys could see, that one piece of strand kept just coming in my way. So y'all just want to make sure that every strand that you're not working on stays out of your way just to make things flow easier. After installing my first strand of braiding hair into my knotless box braids, I think I braided again for about a count of 2 or 3, and then I fed in another strand. I did not include a fixed amount of strands for each box braid. I just added strands as I saw it was necessary, and I would recommend you do the same. Hopefully the re-demonstration and the better lighting was more helpful for you. If it wasn't, I apologize. You could go ahead and check out one of my other knotless box braid tutorials. I'm pretty sure it will be more thorough and easier to understand than this. So definitely go check those out. So guys, this is the finished product. This is what it looks like. I'm just gonna get close and show y'all. This is how the front looks. And the back just has really long knotless box braids. So I'm gonna be very honest with you guys about this hairstyle. Something to keep in mind is that the front is tight. Obviously you could make your hair as tight or as loose as you would prefer, but when I tried to make these looser, it wasn't given, you know. It was looking very much child, it looked like it's grown out. That's what it was given. So I had to do them tighter, and my head was pounding last night. I had to like pull some of the rubber bands down to try to loosen it. So that's something to take into consideration. I was under the impression that since I'm only doing like crisscross zigzags at the front, I was like, okay, this is about to take like 3 hours. No. This took me probably like 5-6 hours. The front took very long. I don't know if it was just my pace, but the front took very long. Overall, this style is super cute though. I love it because it does pull the braids from out of my face, and that's something that I constantly have to deal with when I do my knotless box braids. Just the box braids falling in my face or just them being in my face. This is very cute and convenient for that purpose. I like the style overall for myself. Comment down below what you guys think of it, and let me know, would y'all try this hairstyle? And did you guys see this hairstyle all over TikTok? Because I did, and as soon as I did, I'm like, I gotta make a tutorial. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, what are your thoughts on this hairstyle? Would you guys try it, or is it a no for you? Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified whenever I post again.